Welcome to another review slash comparison of two knockoff Kamen Rider figures that you can buy from China, maybe AliExpress, Taobao, whatever, like cheap toy streets in Asia maybe. So in the middle here we have two fakes. They're very obvious to tell in terms of box art because well, it doesn't have the Bandai logo or the Tamashii Web logo right there. And it also doesn't have any of the Toei copyright either. On the side of the box you can see that they've done the sort of metallic silver print and looks just like the same. On the top is missing the SH Figuarts logo there, so it is on the bottom. So just side print there, so they don't even have the SH Figuarts logoing and stuff. The overall print quality is a little bit darker than the official boxes. And of course the actual like images and stuff are going to be slightly lower resolution, slightly more fuzzy compared to the official boxes. With Amazing Mighty here, unlike the real one, there's no tape on both sides of the box, and you see it doesn't quite close together properly, but the overall feel of the box is just as smooth as the official one. And at first glance, if you, aside from the logos and stuff, the box is very close to the official stuff. On the inside here you still have that print. I'm surprised they bothered doing that because produced by no one. It's been removed. And okay, inside here is where the big difference starts to begin. First of all, they haven't molded these trays properly, so yeah, they rely on sticky tape to hold it together, whereas the official stuff, of course, it just clips down. So I'm just going to take that and get the figure out and put it to the side for now. And usually the instruction sheet is going to be placed on top, but with these figures it was placed at the bottom, like underneath there, which is honestly what I do after I film the reviews and stuff. The paper itself, it's a little bit softer than the official one, and the black stuff here, you can see it's got that print, like a pattern on it, just because it's a lower quality print, I guess, with the inks and stuff. But other than that, again, it is very close to the official stuff. Inside, at the bottom tray, you do have the accessories. And here it seems there's no tape like sticking it together, but you see that all plastic's just warping and stuff, so that's another telltale sign. All of the accessories are indeed included here, and from what I can tell, they are very close to the official stuff. Looking at accessories side by side, notice that the plastic tray on the real one is a bit more of a yellow color, whereas this one's a bit more blue. Okay, so they do have the correct hands, but the actual hands themselves have the wrong logo. This is still the like Rising Mighty whatever. This is what they should be in red, whereas here all the logos are done in a more ultimate logo, and of course so it's just incorrect. It's not right, it's the wrong hands, wrong colors and stuff. Outside of that, the overall matte of the hand is okay, but the gold coloring is a little bit on the rough side, and you can notice the plastic cutoffs are much more obviously than the real stuff. And is that these gold patterns, they're not really flush along with the hand. And hand stuff also has a lot of these extra plastic runoff and cutoff that you're going to have to either sand down or clip down yourself. So to look at the figure, first thing you might notice is that this one is a lot shinier. It's still a nice matte black overall finish, but it's a sort of a soft-ish matte or semi-gloss, whereas this one is a very nice matte finish. Just like the Rising Mighty figure, the Bootleg has a very obvious sort of little punch hole there for the transparent plastic to stay in there. And the red is also a lot lighter color than the official one. The horn is not as flush on the helmet, but otherwise it seems to be very similar. Looking inside the head, you can see the helmet cut line, and the overall gold painting is much sharper and cleaner on the official one. The ear is also a lot sharper as well, whereas the Bootleg, it's a bit of a blurry mess. The back of the helmet also has a lot of scuff marks and just has an overall unclean look to it. The gold on the armor also looks a lot rougher than the official one. Speaking of the gold armor, if you could read Gorongi, you could probably still read it on the Bootleg, but it's definitely scuffed up and with weird sort of scratch marks and molding marks on it. The top of the shoulder pads also has an inconsistent paint, just like the Rising Mighty one compared to the official one. Moving down to the belt, it is the correct mold, I suppose, but the overall belt is very rough. While it's also made out of a soft plastic, all the lining is just pretty bad. Also, instead of orange, it's a yellow coloring on the center. And again, if you look on the side, it is very messy and blurry and scruffed up indeed. But they have still managed to get all the correct coloring and paint job onto it, so that's something. On the official one, the hands go flush right up to the armoring or gauntlets, whereas on the Bootleg, the peg there, the joint is very obvious and doesn't go all the way in. Moving down to the feet, the two sort of knee pads are actually done quite well, and the gold coloring is very close to the official one. But we move down to the side, the black there is not painted as nicely, it doesn't cover the entire circle. On the real one it does. Moving down to the bottom of the feet, they still have included the logo and print marks on the bottom of the shoes, but once again the gap there seems to be a lot bigger than the official one. Again, everything's just sharper on the official one. Just like the Rising Mighty Bootleg, this figure has the exact same articulation as the official one, because it's probably for the most part the same bootleg or same copy that they have, because you know they have the incorrect hand logos. You can look up, look down, sideways, sideways, and full rotation. Shoulder pads on the ball peg and hinge just like the official one, but this one comes down way too much, and you have a really shiny bit of plastic there. But the joint is there, it is a dumbbell joint. Arm goes up, goes full rotation there, and upper rotation, double elbow joint, and ball peg and swivel. Torso goes back, forward, sideways, sideways, so that's still very good articulation and movement. Maybe a bit too much, you see that, yeah, that comes out, so that's not very good. So, and leg goes up, back, sideways, full rotation there, but notice that that's a lot of like factory oil in there. That's disgusting. I don't want to see that, and probably not clean as well, so I'll probably get some tissue paper and wipe that away. Double knee joint, foot peg, sideways, sideways, and of course the toe joint does move a little bit. That's really stiff, but you know, it moves, and I think that is definitely still a metal peg that goes in there. So this thing unpegged, so let's try and stick that back in. And as you can see here, this thing still poses quite nicely. So I will say this, everything about this just a bit rougher, but for the price that this thing goes for, which is under 100 Hong Kong dollars, maybe 80 or 90 Hong Kong dollars, compared to a lot of, say, American toys that get sold for the same price, this is still better. It's nowhere near as good as the official one, of course, but it's pretty good for the price. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Over to Kamen Rider Ultimate, it has the same like soft packaging, lots of sellotape on the top surface and stuff. Okay, so here once again the hands have the wrong logo, but the plastic one-offs seem to be a lot better on this than the Amazing Mighty one, so the overall hands have a cleaner look. But once again, these are not painted as nicely. The gold is not attached properly to the hand. They probably just copy and molded the same one, and because each hand has a slightly different shape, the same padding just doesn't fit on it. The mask and or helmet looks okay from the front, but whereas the official one uses a very dark transparent red, which still has compound effects, so if you shine a light on it you can see a bit of details, this one has no transparent bit whatsoever. It is just a solid molded head with black painted, like shiny black painted onto it. And on the back it has a weird molding problem. You see that huge sort of bent gap there. That's just unfortunate. But I will say this, since this eye is so black, this sort of bootleg head sort of gets away with it, just because it's really hard to see. But if you shine it underneath certain lightings, you're definitely going to notice it. You know what, for a more complex paint job, the bootleg isn't all that bad considering, again, the price. Yeah, the armor is way more shiny than, you know, the official one, but you can always just fix that with a quick sort of matte sort of spray over it. And but they still managed to get most of the lining, the gold lining as well as the light blue lining on the suit. They have managed pretty well, all things considered. So from the top of the head, once again we have the bad molding on the side, but it is, you know, a bit more sharper than the other figure we just saw. The extra head has a really bad mold, by the way, but this one seems to get over okay. But this one also has this weird bump on the back, so not sure what's going on there. Both of the heads have that. But the biggest issue with this, one of the most iconic things in the Kamen Rider, is the compound eye, or the bug eyes. You can see there, well, you've got it, like the shiny dots and stuff, whereas here it is just a flat, transparent piece there. And of course the red is a lot lighter. You just have sort of a, I think that's just a bit of silver painted on the plastic underneath, so, or tin foil or something. You're not getting that compound eye effects there. Another thing, just like the hand joints, now this one is a lot more flush, just like the official one, so that's good, but the upper shoulder there, you can see that this joint is clearly visible, whereas on the official one, the joint is plugged all the way into the arm. So his arm actually goes a bit lower than the official one because it's not plugged in all the way, it's not plugged in correctly. Same on both sides of the shoulders. Another huge unfortunate thing, another one of the most important things from Kamen Rider is Devided Belts. This is a very dark plastic, but it is still transparent and you still see the details underneath, again, if you shine the lights on it. The molding on this one is a lot better than the other one we just looked at, but it is a single solid piece. There's no transparent bits anywhere. It's still a soft-ish material, I'd say. The entire piece is still made out of a soft-ish material, which is great, just like the official belt, but without the transparent bit, it's just got a black paint there. It gets away with it because this one is so dark, but for people who really like Kuuga, including myself, I think that's a huge miss compared to the official one. And in terms of aesthetics, everything is just like a slightly rougher version than the official, but otherwise it seems to be the same. However, I did notice that there's another huge difference with this to the original one. The hip joints there are completely altered and you can't do a proper rider kick. If I just move this leg out, you see it doesn't go that far out. On the official one, you can do a huge like sort of kickstand and whatnot. You can't do that with this as much as it will go because they actually changed the joint here. Let me see if I can pull this leg off again so you can see it. So in terms of articulation, he has the same joint. So look down, look up, sideways, sideways, full rotation here. Shoulder pads of course come down, but a little bit on the looser side, arm goes up. And now that's going to be really obvious when you do that because the arm doesn't go up properly. Full rotation there, full rotation there. This is a dumbbell joint just like the official one. Double elbow joint, hands on a ball peg and swivel. Torso rotates all the way. That's cool. Ooh, clicky joints, hate those. Leg goes up, leg goes back, way too back. And you see that doesn't plug together properly. Let's see the other leg. That one's a bit better, but yeah, it's not plugged in properly. Leg goes out a little bit like that. And there's no ball joint down there, it's just a peg, so it swivels, but it does lose a little bit of movement. Double knee joint, this plastic is softish by the way. And foot goes up, back, sideways, and toe joint goes up quite a lot. So in terms of articulation, he is identical to the official one, just a little bit, again, just slightly rougher around the edges. You know what, honestly, for the price, these things aren't bad. Aside from that hand thing that's not accurate and, you know, missing a bit of compound eyes and stuff, overall, they're pretty good. These are cheaper than the original prices of the Figuarts release, and definitely cheaper than the crazy inflated prices you can see these days with these figures. If you can't afford, and I know most people can't afford the current prices, but you really like Kuuga, these are still decent enough stand-ins. They're just so cheap and affordable. And I would recommend this to people who can't afford the official one because they're just crazily priced. I'm just saying, Bandai, you could really reissue certain real bone figures at the regular retail price, and people would just eat it up because all the ones that are out there right now are all being scalped to insane prices. Twice the price, 3 times the price, even 4 times the price. And that's just impossible for most toy collectors or people who just want to play with action figures. It's just far too expensive, and I hold no grudge to people who, you know, who just really want a nice, decent enough action figure and can't afford the official ones. Just look at these two figures there. Without the official one standing next to them, they look pretty decent. So yeah, by all means, if you can't afford it, get these. Just, you know, make sure if you're buying the official or paying for the official one, you don't get swapped out or cheated out of your money and get substituted for a fake one. So hopefully the difference here and comparisons will help you know if you're picking up a real or fake one, and just make sure you don't get scammed. I'll say this, if you have one of the official ones and one of the joints have broke, this is one way you can replace the joints, you know, because they are okay, the joints themselves. They are made out of a softer material, which will probably mean that they will last longer and less likely to break. And it is a viable alternative than to just buying a new figure. I mean, yeah, if you're just harvesting these for just one particular joint, it is a little bit on the expensive side, but that's still way better than just buying a new figure. Alternatively, you could seek out other figures with similar joints, but it might not necessarily work. Or you can buy joint packs that are released by the same company that release frame arms. You can check out my repair Figuarts videos on this channel, or customize figures videos on this channel to see what I do with them. Subscribe, suggest, and comment below. And of course, take care and have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now.